Hey everyone, so wanted to do a really quick video for you guys. Just talked to a client who's dealing with opening up a new site and is in the process of interviewing physicians. And I told this person, I said, hey, you want to talk to as many physicians as possible right now about clinical research. They're not all going to be perfect. No one physician is going to match all the criteria you need. This is why you need multiple people on staff. So you need one PI, and then you need to surround them with sub-investigators that provide different kinds of value. And so there's probably 3 or 4 values that you need to look at when it comes to bringing on physicians to your clinic. And the most important, obviously, the biggest value any physician can bring is their patients, right? So their private practice. So you're going to need one of these physicians, and preferably, because this is the biggest value, you're going to need this one to be your PI, is the one with the biggest private practice, the most robust private practice, the one that is most willing to enroll his or her patients into clinical trials, into the studies that they're going to be the PI for. So that's the biggest value. The second biggest value they can have is some kind of office space. So the facility for doing the research clinic, where is your site going to be, okay? Oftentimes, 1 and 2 are shared by the same person, which is why the 2 go hand in hand, and which is why this person should probably be your principal investigator. All right, but there are some other values. There's probably 2 other ones that are really important, and then there's, of course, physicians bring so much different kind of value, but we're going to focus on the top 4 in my opinion. So number 1 was the patients, number 2 is the facility, number 3 is probably the clinical expertise. So sometimes you need assessments done by a physician who does these kind of assessments. So example that comes to mind first is you need an OBGYN for OBGYN procedures, you need a psychiatrist for psychiatric procedures, so specialists. So just because you have a PI who meets your criteria 1 and 2, patients in a facility, doesn't mean that you're done. You probably need to talk to more physicians and bring these ones in as sub-investigators. So the ones that have clinical expertise, technical expertise, only they can do the certain assessments, you need to bring them in as sub-investigators. And number 4, the 4th biggest value that they can contribute to your research clinic is having the time to do research and to spend time seeing patients. And this is not to say the PI doesn't have time for that, they do, but oftentimes the ones with the largest private practice have the least amount of time to dedicate to research, so you need to counterbalance this by having a sub-I join you who maybe has a little bit of more time than the PI and not as big of a private practice. Maybe they're just growing their private practice or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're semi-retired. Doesn't matter, but you need to bring them in as well because they can have some oversight and help the PI out and help you out and build up their CV, and then they can be a PI at some point, hopefully with your company. So very rarely you're going to get all 4 of these big value points in one person, and I wouldn't even try to look for all 4 of them in one person. If you do, great, hats off to you, like you got really lucky. I don't think it's possible, and I think that you need to, for this reason, I think you need to talk to as many people, as many physicians as possible when you're starting. And even when you find all 4 of these value points in 2 or 3 different physicians, you still need to go out and find more because you always need backups. You should always be looking to grow your PI database. So those are the 4 biggest value contributions that you should look for in your physicians. And again, very rarely are all 4 going to be met by one person, so you need to find multiple people.